Universal Force TV.
Dear viewers of Universal Force TV, I wrote and published a novel in Tamil in the year 1984 with the title Raji Idu Unakaga. Now, Mr. Premkumar of Samyuktha Computers has brought out the novel in audio-video form in English. The characters and incidents in the story are imaginary. Please see, hear, and enjoy.
Video 6. Raji, this is for you. Author. Universal Force, Bala. Chapter 5. The struggle with the storm. Chandran initially gave importance to the principle in the students' union and in exercising the rights conferred upon him as the editor of the college magazine. He nurtured the thoughts that the students should not waste time complaining that this is not right, that is not right, and the facilities are not enough, but think how to make full use of the existing facilities and develop their personality. He published articles and stories in the college journal, which reflected only the beliefs of the society. Chandran was in the habit of sending the manuscript of the college journal to the principal for his approval every time before sending it to the press. This was a matter of pride for the principal. Chandran knew that the principal could not force him to do it. However, he was careful not to do anything that the principal did not like. There was a feeling in the college that whatever the principal said, Chandran would echo it, and whatever Chandran did, it would have the approval and support of the principal. The hostel inmates complained that the food was not good, and went to the warden's room to complain. When some students sought Chandran's help in this matter, Chandran discussed the issue with the warden, and promised to dine twice a week with the students in the hostel mess, and supervise the preparation of the food, thus preventing the problem from escalating. The students liked the result very much. It was happy news for them that Chandran would dine with them twice a week. The vice principal, who was the hostel warden, knew this strategy, but his prestige would not allow him to follow it. In sympathy with the students who were assaulted by the police in another college and to condemn the attack, the idea of going on strike gathered momentum among the students. Many colleges had already become victims of the strike. The principal feared that the same situation would happen in his college, which had never gone on strike before. On Chandran's suggestion, the principal organized a students' union meeting. The meeting was held to appeal to the students to drop their intention to strike. Although the principal doubted whether the initiative was right, he was confident that Chandran would change the minds of the union representatives with his unique approach and influence. The student representatives, who partly feared the principal, spoke about the correctness of their action, and that the police department had compelled them to go on strike through use of excessive force. Speaking at the end, Union Secretary Raghothaman showed passion in his speech. It is true that there has never been a strike in our college. But it is also true that a barbaric act, like last week when the police entered the hostel in the Government College of Arts and attacked the sleeping students, has never happened before in Tamil Nadu. Brutalizing innocent students just because a section of them had broken the law was not correct. Are batons available only for policemen? Let the Government Arts College administration and the government take action against the erring students as per law. I strongly condemn the incompetent government for sending policemen to attack the students as if they were thugs and rioters. It is not our plan to resort to violence in return, but at least let us strike work for 3 days and express our protest. I look forward to your unanimous support. The students, who were afraid that the principal was sitting, got courage after hearing Raghu's speech. They clapped vigorously to show their enthusiasm and support. Although the principal's face showed some discomfiture, he kept his composure and said, "I give Mr. Chandrasekhar a chance to speak next. Unconcerned by Raghu's agitation, Chandran began his interesting speech. I was a student till 2 years ago. I accepted this teaching job because I was offered a salary of 800 rupees a month. If I could get this 800 rupees without working, I would have taken some other elective subject and continued to be a student. Why I say this is that you may be tempted to dismiss me as a lecturer. But I am trying to get closer to you through the representative position I have been given in the Students' Union and as editor of the college magazine. To tell you the truth, I was the one who requested the principal to organize this meeting. My thanks to the principal for accepting and honoring that request. I understand the sentiments expressed by all of you, especially the passion of my dear friend Ragothaman. No matter which college one belongs to, students are one community. I fully welcome that sense of unity. It is not enough to talk about this unity. It should also be shown in action. This unity can be developed by sharing knowledge and energy among you. It can be said otherwise too, that knowledge and energy can be developed through unity. When a section of the student community suffers a setback or is affected, the rest are bound to do what they can to help the victims. I also read in the newspaper about the incident at the Government Arts College hostel last week. I don't have the freedom that you have because I am a paid employee of the college. I am unable to say things like you, but don't think that I'll be scared and run away. Your problems are my problems. I also have the right to speak based on the press report. I openly and wholeheartedly support Ragothaman's statement that the unity of the student community should be established and nurtured by condemning the use of batons by the police at the Government Arts College last week. How can we do that? Without taking much time, let me briefly explain it. All the students can march to the police station in our locality or the police commissioner's office in the city after the college working hours and submit a protest memorandum. Badges can be printed and worn on the shirt during college working hours. To bring our protest to the knowledge of the general public, we can write articles in English and Tamil and request the newspapers to publish them. Going a step further, if you like, a group of 5 or 6 people may fast on behalf of our students, either in front of the police commissioner's office or in front of our college on a Sunday. And, if you wish, I will also participate in these activities. This decision binds me personally, and not the college administration in any way. I have not spoken about an important matter, but I am tempted to speak. You may ask why we should not go on strike. Government ministers, officials, and people at the highest level of society can answer that and give you plenty of advice. But the question I ask you is, what is the use of this strike? Your coming to college and studying is not a service to the police department nor the government. If you don't attend classes, you are the losers. If you don't, the teachers will get 3 days off. They will go home happily. This month, the electricity bill will be slightly less. The message will appear in newspapers in bold letters that our college is closed. Please don't quote me outside. If the news comes that the police department or the government is shut down, we will be happy to read the news in the present situation. Is it a happy news to read that our college is closed and that we are responsible for it? I do not want to take more of your time. Think and decide. I am always on your side. After listening to Chandran's long speech, the students had a change of mind. The strike plan was abandoned. All the students, including Raghu, stood around Chandran and asked how they could implement his suggestions. The principal slipped out of the room quietly. Due to Chandran's efforts, word spread throughout the college that the seriously planned strike action was called off. How is it that this man has such a power hidden within him? Teachers and students looked at Chandran with awe and wonder. Even those who were jealous of Chandran and hated him before, now accepted his talent. Wearing badges, marching to the police commissioner's office, writing articles to newspapers, etc., were carried out according to Chandran's plan. Although Chandran was not flattered by the praises of others, he listened to what they said with a smile and respect. Nagesh came to the lodge and praised him. "Hey Chandra, now you've earned a good name among all the teachers and students of our college. Even girls seem to be impressed by you. If there is an election and you compete for the post of college principal, you will win. The present principal will not compete against you. Even if he competes, he will lose the deposit money." The new clout of Chandran gave him a new confidence. That confidence brought about certain drastic changes in his actions and plans. He no longer wanted to be the right-hand man of the college principal. He assumed that respect and honor had come to him for his talent. Even after this, Chandran felt that he need not stand in the shadow of the principal, use his influence, and attract the attention of others. Chandran stopped meeting the principal frequently to discuss the college administration and share his ideas. "If need be, let the principal call me and ask for my opinion," he thought. Chandran's indifference also had another reason. There was nothing the principal could do immediately to help him to grow. He no longer wanted to grow on the intervention of the principal. If the principal tried to groom some other lecturer in his place, Chandran became so arrogant that he thought that he could contain the principal himself. Chandran wanted to use his newfound influence among the students to spread his views on some matters not directly related to the college nor the students. Chandran didn't want to remain confined to the four walls of the college and its problems. He wanted to spread among the students his ideas about the world outside the college and human life in general, and seek the support of the students for those ideas. Chandran called Raghuthaman, secretary of the Students' Union, and started the conversation very casually. "Raghu, the union should not be a tool just to solve the problems of the students. We should exchange ideas about the happenings in the outside world and develop clear thoughts which are necessary for a complete life. If we think about the immediate benefits of this exchange of ideas, it may seem like a waste of time. But what we are going to do will help many students develop the ability to think for themselves and to articulate their ideas in a way that is acceptable to others. Raghu, our life today is not based on thinking. We continue the lives of our ancestors. We also borrow ideas from people living in countries that are economically and socially ahead of us. That's why we see problems in every part of our country every day. The government is struggling to deal with these problems. If you think and set the path of life, you can solve the problems that come along that path through thinking. But to solve the problems that come along the path of our ancestors, we have to wake up our dead ancestors. Or we have to write to the countries which we are aping and ask them by post, right? Not allowing Chandra to continue, Raghu made his point. "I understand to some extent what you are saying. I see for myself. 90% of people live without knowing why they are doing a particular act and what they are going towards. But to change all this, our country must have a big revolution. That doesn't seem likely at the moment." Chandran interrupted and said, "Very good. Let the big revolution come when it comes. But I want to make a small revolution on a small scale. If you cooperate, the effort will be successful," and looked at Raghu's face questioningly. "What are you saying, Mr. Chandra? Be sure, I will do my best for you. Why do you doubt me?" The green flag shown by Raghu made Chandran happy. "Okay, arrange for a union meeting this Saturday afternoon, where I will explain in detail whatever I have told you now. We will meet once or twice a month to exchange ideas and discuss certain matters with advance notice. I will undertake the typing and cyclostyling work initially. Slowly, we shall create a think tank of students. If it works well, I'll be indebted to you." Chandran explained his plan, and the help that he expected from Raghu. "This is in no way difficult, Mr. Chandra. I will definitely arrange for the meeting." "Principal," Raghu dragged. "Don't say anything about this to the principal. Even if you call him, that man won't come." Raghu was happy to hear what Chandran said. Right from the beginning, Raghu did not like the principal dominating the students' union. On Saturday, the meeting was held as scheduled. Raghu spoke briefly and asked Chandran to speak. Chandran explained the purpose of the meeting and distributed the cyclostyled paper to everyone. He told them that there would be another meeting after a fortnight and asked the members to submit their views on the topic discussed in the cyclostyled paper. The assembled students were surprised by Chandran's sudden move, the meeting organized without the principal, and his paper on the issue of Sikhs in the state of Punjab, unrelated to the college, titled "Religious Fanaticism Runs Amok." However, Chandran was respected by the students so high that his views could not be ignored. The news reached the principal on Monday. It gave the principal a bit of a shock that Chandran organized a students' union meeting without asking for his permission and discussed a political issue in that meeting, which was of no consequence to the college nor the students. The vice principal himself brought the paper that Chandran had given to the students and showed it to the principal. Although the principal did not want to express his shock in a hurry, he decided that it was necessary to ask Chandran about it. The principal called Chandran to his room in the evening and started the conversation by saying, "Chandran, I heard about the student union meeting you organized and the matter discussed in the meeting." Chandran had prepared himself to meet the principal, as he expected that the principal would call him and ask for an explanation. "I am not saying that your views are wrong, but many people, including the vice principal, fear that discussing such matters with students will divert their attention from studies. So, please stop organizing meetings like this and discussing political issues in those meetings in future. Take this as my personal request." Contrary to the principal's expectation, Chandran did not show any remorse for what he had done. On the other hand, he argued that what he had done was right. Ragothaman, as the union secretary, had organized the meeting. "So, you are wrong in saying that it was a meeting organized by me. You said that in that meeting I spoke about something unrelated to the students and the college. I think there is nothing wrong in making students who spend hours chatting about movies think about this issue that has affected the entire nation." For the first time, the principal felt that Chandran, who was his right-hand man and made popular in the college campus by himself, was challenging him. With a posture of authority and anger in his eyes, he sat up straight and spoke. "Mr. Chandrasekhar, I decree as the principal of the college that you shall no longer attend the students' union meeting without my permission. Are you going to obey that order or not?" Chandran, without losing his composure, calmly replied, "It is my custom to carry out any order after seeing whether it is fair or unfair." Unable to contain his anger, the principal shouted with eyebrows contracted, "Mr. Chandrasekhar, you have to agree that it was wrong for you to have participated in the union meeting without my permission, won't you?" There was no change in the position of Chandran. "I did nothing wrong. I am a member of the students' union. I am not your secretary," retorted Chandran. Realizing that if he threatened Chandran beyond this, Chandran would talk him down even more, the principal ended the investigation with the words, "Okay, you can go." Chandran said, "Thank you," without any fear, and came out of the principal's room. The next day evening, The principal hurriedly called all the department professors, explained the Chandran issue, and told them that he was going to remove Chandran from the post of union representative. It was an incredible surprise to the professors. No one expected that the principal would throw away Chandran, whom he treated as his right hand. However, no one dared to ask the principal for more details. The principal also announced that chemistry professor Ranganathan would represent the college management in the union. The decision was unanimously accepted by all the professors. The news reached Chandran as an incomplete rumor. He decided to face the challenge, even though his face turned pale upon hearing it. The vice principal called Chandran and briefed him on the matter. Mr. Chandrasekhar, a meeting of professors was held yesterday, in which the management of the college was also discussed. It was unanimously decided to remove you from the post of students' union representative and appoint the professor of chemistry in that place, as you are the editor of the college magazine too. So the principal wants you not to engage in any more student union activities. Chandran did not discuss the development with the vice principal and only said, "Thank you for bringing this matter to my knowledge." The news spread throughout the college and created a stir. As Chandran had influence among the students were anxious to know his next step. Many could not believe that the principal and Chandran had a disagreement. Some of the student members of the union, including Raghothaman, came to Chandran in person to express their shock and sympathy. "Mr. Chandran, what are you going to do next?" Undeterred, Chandran answered Raghothaman's question. "Raghu, I feel thankful for the love that you all have for me. This is not the end of the struggle. It is just the beginning. The principal who thought that Chandran was a puppet is giddy when he sees the real Chandran. You wait for the fun that is unfolding." Chandran ended the conversation by keeping his plan a mystery. Chandran raised the weapon of college magazine to give the principal another blow. He wrote a long article on the status of Tamils in Sri Lanka for the college magazine. It is wise to act like a Roman when you are in Rome. The Tamils in Sri Lanka should mix with the Sinhalese and make Sri Lanka their own. With a little skill, the Tamils can take over the island of Sri Lanka. Instead of doing so, Sri Lankan Tamils demand that Lanka be divided into two nations. This way, the Tamils are wasting their time and blood. This will not pave the way for a happy life, Chandran had mentioned in the article. Chandran sent the manuscript of the magazine to the press without the knowledge of the principal. Thinking that there might be some delay, the principal did not ask Chandran about it. A week later, the principal was surprised to find that month's issue of the college magazine lying on his desk. The principal thought that Chandran, in his anger at him, had sent the manuscript to the press without the former's approval. Chandran's action was like slapping the principal in the face. However, the principal did not allow the idea of taking action against Chandran enter his mind. For the latter's act of not getting approval before printing the magazine. After lunch, he picked up the college magazine, eager to know what was inside. Despite his anger and rage towards Chandra, the principal valued his intelligence and thinking skills. The principal looked for what Chandran had written. Chandran, who had given a headache by talking about the Punjab issue in the student union meeting, now wrote about Sri Lankan Tamils in the college magazine, infuriating the principal further. When the government and people across Tamil Nadu were engaged in activities supporting the Sri Lankan Tamils, Chandran wrote that the Sri Lankan Tamils should be like the Romans in the city of Rome, which gave the principal a mental agitation. The principal feared that if the matter came to the attention of the government, he might face reprimand as the college principal. Immediately summoning the vice principal to his room, the principal deliberated. "Mr. Ramamurthy, Did you see what Chandran has written about the Sri Lankan Tamils in the college magazine? I don't know what to do with this rascal." The vice principal understood the principal's rage. "I thought he published it with your consent." The vice principal tried to implicate the principal in Chandran's act of excess. The principal slammed his right hand on the table and screamed, "My God! He sent the manuscript of the magazine to the press this month without my approval. If I had known that he would write such an article, I would have removed him from the union as well as the post of editor. Even now nothing is lost. I don't want to ask him for an explanation. Chandran's arrogance has gone too far." The principal called the secretary to implement his decision. The next day, Chandran was given a letter signed by the principal. In it, the principal had mentioned that he had exercised his special powers and removed Chandran from the post of college magazine editor. Chandran was filled with rage. Among the students and the teachers, the majority expressed the opinion that Chandran's comments about the Sri Lankan Tamils were correct and that only if such an attitude developed, peace would prevail in various parts of the world. Some people who were emotional about the Elam Tamils issue went to the principal and expressed their condemnation in person, attacking him in an obscene language, saying, "If this Chandrasekhar was born to a Tamilian, he would not have written like this." But their anger subsided when they heard that the principal had removed Chandran from the post of college magazine editor. They felt sympathy for Chandran. Why does this man write such things and tarnish his image? He is removed from the college magazine editor's post. In which magazine is he going to write now? He should think and act, shouted an assistant professor, and asked the students who were standing in a group to disperse. Chandran was sitting in his seat and writing something. He was uninterested in what was happening in the college and what others were saying about him. But the scene of him fighting the storm was vivid in his mind screen. 3 days later, Chandran sent out a cyclo-styled circular to students and fellow teachers. "Dear students, colleagues, you are aware of the many occasions on which I have intervened in disputes and tried to find a solution in the past. But now a funny situation is developing. I mean, I've become a subject of controversy myself. That's because of 2 steps taken by our college principal, whom I hold in high esteem. 1. The principal verbally informed me that I have been removed from my position as a representative in the students' union. 2. The principal has issued a letter stating that I have been removed from the college magazine editor's post. I shall treat the matter as closed if our principal retracts these 2 steps within a fortnight. If not, I, who have worked hard to promote peace and harmony in this college, will have to expose many truths and sow the seeds of agitation. Always seeking your support, R. Chandrasekhar, Student Union Representative and College Journal Editor." There was a mood of celebration among the students when they read Chandran's circular. If there was a conflict between the principal and Chandran, it would be interesting. Fear spread in the minds of girl students. As the principal would be firm in his decision, and Chandran had influence among the students, there could be a struggle within the college, as he had written. This situation caused anguish among the teachers. They could not decide whether Chandran or the principal was responsible for the tense situation. The principal gave undue importance to Chandran and made him so popular. Having done everything, the principal was attacking Chandran now, which confused everybody. Chandran could hear Rajeshwari bowing and speaking to Professor Rukmani in a low voice. "Ma'am, why they have removed him from the union and magazine?" Rukmani looked at Chandran, who was seriously writing something, and replied, "He spoke about the situation in Punjab in the union meeting. He also wrote about the Sri Lankan Tamils in the magazine. These are the reasons." Rukmani's terse reply did not satisfy Raji. Well, what's wrong with that? Rukmani ended the conversation by saying, the principal didn't like the two things. So, disciplinary action. Chandran was not happy that Raji sympathized with him. This mean creature was not useful to me in the past, nor will it be useful in the future, he said to himself, and paid attention to the work on his hand.
Friends, we shall meet again next Friday at 8 p.m. Bye.